The title of the 2-minute message preview this week at the non-denominational New Hope Olympia is God's Hall of Fame. The author of Hebrews is comparing the Christian life to a race. It is a race of endurance. Paul compared our walk with wrestling, another sporting event. Paul was very aware of what he was talking about. The Romans were known for their games. He understood the analogy, as did the writer of the book of Hebrews. We have the Olympics today. An Olympian is focused on his sport. If he is a runner, his entire life is about running. If he is an archer, his life is spent bettering himself, striving to hit the mark. If he is a wrestler, he will diet, exercise, and practice until he is the best wrestler he can be. An athlete will eliminate anything that prevents him from reaching his goal. He is focused. It is this kind of focus Hebrews is talking about. Nearly every sport has a hall of fame. Men and women who stand taller shine brighter than the other athletes. Basketball has Michael Jordan, football it's Johnny Unitas, fantasy football, Jason Brown, soccer it's Pele, running it's Carl Lewis, and so on. Did you know that God has a hall of fame? The writer of Hebrews said that such a great cloud of witnesses surrounds us. He is referring to Hebrews chapter 11. This is the faith chapter. It is a short walk down the hallowed halls of God's hall of fame. We see those who have run this race and reached the finish line. God is telling us about heaven's grandstand, full of the matriarchs and patriarchs of old. And as you read Hebrews chapter 11, it is the Hall of Faith chapter. We see Abraham there in God's Hall of Fame. Here is a man who lived among the pagans. His entire family were idolaters. But he believed in the one true God. He left all he had, forsook the only home he had never known, and followed the call of God. God promised him he would be the father of many nations, but he and his wife could not have children. Everything was against him. He abandoned all he was to follow an impossible promise. He could have remained where he was, dying comfortably with his family, but he left it all. When God finally gave him the son he had promised, he would let God take him back and sacrifice him on Mount Moriah. Abraham was focused, a tremendous athlete who finished the race strong. If we could pull Abraham from the grandstand of this great cloud of witnesses and have him run beside us as we run the race of faith, what would he say to encourage us to stay in the race and cross the finish line? Pastor Dell believes in his weekend message that he would say 4 things to us as we ran the race. These 4 practical and timely principles will keep us running until we finish.